Hello, beautiful yogis. Thank you for joining me here. My name is Janine. As we're getting into the beginning of a new year, I know this can be a great time for reflection, but also a great time for visualizing perhaps what you want for your coming year. Any aspirations or goals, maybe an idea or thought is just starting to bubble up, and perhaps this can be the start of your seeds being planted, your ideas or your intentions being energetically put out into the world so that they can blossom throughout this coming year. And of course, if this video finds you at another time of the year, then let this be an invitation for you to set an intention for yourself for your coming day or week, or if you do have any goals that you're looking to accomplish. It certainly doesn't have to be the beginning of a new year to do so. So let this practice be a manifestation of what's to come and an openness to receive that too, to receive all the abundance that is already around you. So please, if you haven't yet done so, find yourself in a comfortable seat, wherever and however you are. Just begin to grow your spine, sitting up tall, maybe closing down the eyes and placing your hands on top of your knees. And just taking a few moments here to check in with your breath and to land yourself in whatever space you're in. And giving yourself permission to be here right now for your practice. I'll invite you to bring your hands together in front of the heart, and let's begin to rub our palms together, creating a little bit of heat, a little bit of friction, just warming your hands up here. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, placing them over top of your heart center. Allowing this to be a space of openness, of feeling, so feeling into your intention and visualizing it growing bigger with every breath. And when you're ready, we'll begin to bring our hands back together, rubbing your palms nice and quick, creating that heat and that friction once again. And on your next exhale, let's bring our palms over top of our face, maybe placing them gently over top of our eyes. And from here, I want you to literally visualize, literally see what you want for your coming year, your day, your week. Envision yourself in that space. How do you see yourself as your visions start to take shape? Just taking a few moments here, a few rounds of slow, intentional breath. And when you're ready, you can release your hands from your face, bringing them back to heart center, and again begin to rub your palms together nice and quick, creating that heat, that friction, that energy once again. And you can release that when you're ready, placing your hands this time over top of your throat, maybe gently placing them on either side of the neck. And from here, I would like you to visualize how it is you would like to use your voice. How can you speak with your truest intention? How can you be impeccable with your word? Go ahead and take one more deep breath in through the nose. And on your exhale, we'll release, bringing our hands back to heart center. On your next inhale, let's open up our arms, coming into a cactus shape, squeezing your shoulder blades back behind you, and exhaling as you round forward, bringing your forearms to touch, Moving like this, inhaling as you open up into that cactus, and exhaling as you round everything forward, bringing your forearms together, maybe dipping your chin into your chest, and just move like this on your own time, on your own rhythm of breath, following your movement with your breath here, just feeling into sensation here. Maybe just bringing to mind those intentions that you had and allowing them to be threaded throughout your movement practice today. And finishing up your last round, you can release those hands onto your knees, inhaling as you reach your hands up towards the sky, palms touch, and we'll twist over towards our right hand side, bringing our left hand towards our right knee and our right hand back behind us as we turn our gaze over towards our right shoulder. Inhale to grow tall, finding length, and exhale to twist deeper. Taking a couple rounds of breath here as your gaze gently looks over your shoulder. On your next inhale, bringing yourself back to center, floating your hands up towards the sky, and exhaling as you twist over to your left hand side, bringing your right hand to your knee and your left hand back behind you, propping you up, growing tall here on that inhale, and exhaling to twist. Feel yourself twisting from the midline here, being mindful not to crank your neck too far back behind you. Taking a couple rounds of breath here, filling yourself up. On your next inhale, let's bring everything back to center. And inhale as you bring your shoulder blades up towards your ears. Exhaling as you slide your shoulder blades back behind you. Let's reverse that now. So inhale your shoulders up towards the ear and round your shoulders forward. See how that changes things. Doing that one more time. Inhale the shoulders up and exhale as you roll it back. And from here, let's bring our legs out in front of us, coming into Dandasana. Feel free to keep a bend in the knees if that feels good for you and you have a tight back line. Bringing your hands to either side of you, palms flat on the earth. Just use that as a bit of leverage to push yourself up here so you're creating a really nice long spine, engaging the core, feeling strength in the abdomen and the lower back. Flexing in your feet here, relaxing your shoulder blades while remaining strong. Taking a full round of breath here and releasing. We'll inhale our hands up towards the sky, and on your exhale, go ahead and begin to fold forward over top of those extended legs. Only folding as far as feels good to you today. No need to push or strain or go deeper than your body wants to. Just taking a couple rounds of breath in this posture. And when you're ready, you can begin to walk your palms up towards your seat, rolling your torso up. And let's cross our legs just so we can roll forward, coming onto hands and knees. Once you've found yourself here, just begin to sway your spine, maybe rocking your hips side to side and just getting into the spine, being fluid with your movement here. Let's come into some cat and cows now. So inhaling as you lift your gaze, dropping your belly, and exhaling as you round forward, bringing your chin to your chest, tucking your tailbone. So moving like this a couple rounds on your own breath. Completing the round that you're on, and then meeting with a neutral spine. From here, go ahead and bend at the knee as you kick your leg back behind you so the sole of the foot is facing up towards the sky. Just beginning to come into a few rounds of pulses here, kicking up with the heel. And exhaling to release that, let's get into the other side, kicking your left foot, bending at the knee and pulsing here. Coming into a few rounds, then releasing on your exhale. So we're going to do that one more time. So kicking up with your right foot again, coming into those pulses, feeling strength in your quad and your glute here. And begin to open up the hip as you bend your knee and kick that right foot forward so you're coming on the outer edge of the right corner of your mat. So we're coming into a lizard pose here. Both of your hands are on the inside of your right foot. And maybe just begin to get into a little bit of pulses with the hips, dropping them up and down here, just getting into this movement, into this posture, feeling into the hip flexors and possibly what's tight here. Remembering to breathe through all your movements. And placing your left hand flat on the mat as you bring your right hand on top of that knee as you begin to twist over towards the right hand side, maybe pushing your right knee open a little bit as you do that, squeezing your shoulder blades back behind you and opening up the chest, broadening your collarbone. Now, if you'd like to get into a deeper quad stretch from here, you can begin to circle your right hand up towards the sky, back behind you as you bend into your left knee, catching on to your left foot. So from here, you can begin to pull your ankle, your foot in towards your bum, taking a round of breath and slowly releasing that foot, circling your hand back towards the sky, over and down, so you're on the inside of that right foot still. And just finding length now in your right leg, so folding forward and inhaling as you roll back into your lizard. So coming between those two movements, just really getting into those hip flexors and the hamstring here. Just breathing with your movement. And when you come back into your lizard pose, we're going to kick that leg back behind us, bringing our big toes to touch, knees as wide as the mat, and sink yourself back into a child's pose, Balasana. Just taking a few moments here to check in with your breath. Maybe pushing both palms into the earth and feeling that nice stretch into the shoulder blades here. Relaxing your forehead onto the mat. And we'll round ourselves forward, coming back onto our hands and knees, setting ourselves up for our second side. Bending your left knee and kicking your heel back behind you as you come into those little pulses. And then opening up the hip as you begin to swing that left foot up towards the left corner of the mat, setting yourself up for that lizard pose. Maybe you're staying upright and tall, coming up onto your fingertips here, or maybe your hands are flat onto the mat. But just remember to keep your chest nice and open here. Maybe just getting into those little pulses if that felt good on the other side. When you're ready, we'll plant our right hand to the mat, bringing our left hand on top of our left knee and opening up the chest as we begin to twist over to the left-hand side, pushing into the knee so you're getting a nice opening into the hip. Big stretch here. And if you want to come into that deep quad stretch, you can circle your left hand up towards the sky and back behind you as you begin to bend at the right knee, grabbing onto your right foot and pulling that foot in towards you. Big quad stretch here. So keeping your chest nice and open, remembering to breathe here, deep inhales and exhales. And slowly release as you circle your arm back towards the front of the mat, placing it on the outer edge of your left foot here. And right away, finding length in that left leg as you fold forward and rolling back into your lizard pose, coming into these movements a couple times, following your breath. really feeling length and opening in that hamstring. This is a deep, deep stretch in our hips as well. Doing one more round, and when you come back to your lizard pose, let's kick that leg back towards the back of the mat, bringing our big toes to touch and sinking our hips down in that Balasana child's pose once again. This time let's bend our elbows, placing our hands over top of one another and just relaxing our forehead on top of those hands. Breathing here, allowing for your hips to sink heavier with every exhale, your forehead to be heavy on those hands. On your inhale, let's begin to lift ourselves up, walking our hands towards us, finding length in the spine, sitting back onto our heels this time. Inhaling as you open your arms nice and wide into a T. And exhale as you cross your right arm over your left, bending at the elbows. We're going to bring the backs of our forearms together, or perhaps you can cross your hand so that both your hands are facing one another. We're coming into eagle arms here. Lift up at the elbow, squeeze your shoulder blades, push your arms away from you, and we'll come into a little cat and cow-like movement here. So inhaling as you reach your shoulders and your elbows up, gaze looks up, and exhale as you round your spine, bringing your elbows in towards your chest. So moving like this, inhaling as you bring those elbows up, and exhaling as you bring your elbows in towards the chest. Coming back to center here, just taking a few rounds of breath before you exhale, uncrossing everything and coming back into that big T, and then bringing your hands to heart center here. Just staying for a beat. And on your inhale, let's open those arms nice and wide into that T. And exhale, this time crossing your left arm over your right, bending at the elbows, coming back into your eagle pose on this side, lifting those elbows nice and high so they're in line with your shoulders. Feel your scapula pulling apart here, really big stretch. And coming into that cat and cow-like movement, inhale as you arch your spine, looking up, bringing your elbows up. And exhaling as you round forward, bringing your elbows towards your chest. Moving like this a couple times on your own, following your breath. This time staying, finding your center here. Pushing your forearms away from you. Taking a full round of breath. And exhale to release, opening your arms nice and wide into that T and bringing it into heart center. From here, I'll invite you to come back onto your sit bones into a seat, a cross-legged position, if that feels good for you. We'll inhale our shoulders up towards the ear, exhale, bring them back behind you. And just inviting a little gentle sway side to side, just to get a little last movement into the spine here before we close our practice. Coming back to center, finding stillness, bringing your hands to prayer, and let's begin to rub those palms together just like we did at the beginning of our practice today. So creating heat, creating friction once again, just building some energy. Taking a round of breath as you do so. And once you feel like you've created some nice friction and heat there, let's place those palms on top of our belly, closing our eyes down here if you haven't. And just allowing for your hands to hold you and to fill you up with the manifestation of all the abundance that's to come. You're giving yourself a little bit of extra gratitude here for taking this time. And you can stay as you are or bring your hands to heart center, pouring forward in thanks. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm sending you so much love, and I'm wishing you a beautiful start to your new year. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.